This conference will now be recorded.
Sorry,
but I think you're already working with an NXP kernel to which the source is available and easy to work with, plus a user land derived from Ubuntu. So in terms of drivers, the drivers that are there are the ones from the NXP kernel, and we tend to have driver support for all of the important things on the chip. And user land is highly compatible. So I've actually never seen a user land package that you can't just apt install and have it work.
Okay, so it's limited to that. It's all right. But that should be good enough, I guess. JP, were you looking for something else, or?
Oh no, I mean, if they're developing any application, if you get stuck with any issues, then we can always go to them for help. That's the real motivation. So it looks like they don't have any dedicated team for application support, but Lay would be a contact for more infrastructure.
Yeah, Lay is a contact for. I mean, what he'd be able to help you with is drivers and Linux and U-boot issues, and including drivers.
Okay. Linux and Linux, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but the good news, is that the ARM64 ecosystem is pretty standardized. I mean, that's why the upstream Broadcom driver, you just config it in and it works. It's not a lot of trouble.
Okay.
But you don't deal with things like SPDK and stuff like that, right? I guess.
Actually, that's a good question. We have worked a lot with DPDK and SPD. I always can't say that. SPDK, somehow that doesn't trip off my tongue. Storage DPDK has been run by some of our customers and internally, but it's not a standard product. So if you want to use it, that's something to talk to Lay and maybe Toby about. There is some expertise inside NXP on SPDK. I can't say it.
Yeah, but that could be an overlapping thing that would be useful, right? If you're in the storage world.
Agreed.
Okay.
So there is some expertise on that.
Right.
That's because essentially that's a user space framework and a bunch of drivers too, right?
And you'd be the contact point for that, right?
Not me. Contact Lay. Yeah, I actually don't. It's been some time, but I don't even work in the software team anymore. So
Okay, all right.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm at a completely different team.
Yeah, I'm just
in fact,
putting it out there
role is
right now. You don't have a need
further.
for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other updates on the hardware? Or any questions on the hardware? Okay, if not, Peter, you will be posting us on the date, right? When you will be able shipping this, so we have.
Yeah, as soon as I find out, I'll let you guys know. If I get when I get a tracking number and more information. I asked, how long I asked them how long they think it'll take, but they haven't answered me yet.
Thank you very much, Peter. I'll update the team as soon as I receive the boards, and I'll also just do a quick sanity test and see how they perform, and then I'll let everyone know.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, okay, so we'll switch the topic then from hardware. And next is actually, before I go to the workshop plans, I'd like to discuss the November Summit. So Bobby, you sent out an email regarding the November Summit number and call for papers. So right. Do you think that we have, for PoC, is there any opportunity for a paper or presentation?
So I put a slot in. Let me see if I can pull that up. I put a slot in for a demo / update.
Oh, so do you want to share the screen?
No, hang on. I got to clean up. I got to. Sorry.
Sure, no
I have a 20-minute update as a JP and Co. Here. I think the sheet is open. Yeah.
20-minute update on PoC. Okay.
You can look at the, but we need an abstract pretty soon.
Okay, when is the abstract due?
By the end of the month, I think. Let's say by the end of May, by about a week from tomorrow, just to be on the safe side.
Okay. A week from tomorrow is by next Wednesday, right? Okay. And start due by next Wednesday. Okay, sure. I mean, regarding the contents, I'm thinking of actually including Young's vision for the reducing the total cost of ownership (TCO).
Okay.
Right, that could be a solid work that we can present, and then we'll give a more update on what happened in the PoC and where we are heading with that.
That makes sense. And you know, that's 4 months from now. So hopefully we'll be further along than we are today.
Right. So Young, what do you think?
In terms of my presentation?
Yeah, so we have a 20-minute slot right for PoC, right? Do you think that you'll be able to articulate your vision for what we had the TCO reduction as one of the?
Yeah, no, I think I can do that. That's easy enough.
Okay. Okay, I think that I'll put together an abstract. Maybe we can review all and then we can refine the content, what we want to do within that 10 minutes. Sorry, within the 20 minutes time. So, Bobby, is there a possibility for a demo? And
Yeah, funny you should ask. I'm apparently I'm looking at something which says that Broadcom has a demo, is going to demo the OCP NIC. Let me go find out some more, what the story is about that, and maybe we can just be a part of whether there's any interest in, if not, there might be a separate booth for projects. I don't see that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I see company names, but I don't see project names. No, I see an OCP test and validation team, OCP NIC firmware. Yeah, the OEM guys, I don't see anything from them yet.
Does the Broadcom chip use chiplets?
No. This is just the Broadcom NIC, the one that we're using.
Right. I see. Okay.
That, you know, since we're using the Broadcom NIC, whether we can smuggle ourselves into the Broadcom demo.
Okay.
I'll find out.
Is the same NIC as what we are using, Bobby?
Yeah, we're using a production NIC that is used in data centers you know and love.
No, the one the Broadcom is going to demonstrate, right? Is the same NIC are we using?
That I don't know. I don't know what I literally just opened it a minute ago. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. And so I got to go back and find out.
Okay.
And the deadline for the experience center seems to be September. So we got some time.
What is September deadline for?
For this thing, the experience center, I mean, that's the name of the lab space.
Oh, okay. September deadline.
Wait, don't write that down yet, but let me go. Let me, and then by next week, I'll figure this out by the back half of this week.
Okay. So I'll just put a question mark for the placeholder.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Experience Center definitely sounds very appealing, Bobby, and if we have a demo there, that would be awesome. So I'll have wider appeal. And also, Bobby, I see a link that you put out on the chat. What is this for?
That's the current ODSA schedule. That's what I have.
Oh, okay.
These are the bits and pieces I have. I'm trying to fill these in.
Okay. I can't. Let me copy this here and then I'll go over that in detail. Oh no. Correct. Did I close that?
Sorry, this is going to be the agenda for the OCP summit?
Well, it's not the confirmed agenda. It's my draft of whoever I know wants to send something in or may send something in.
I see, okay.
This is a tentative, right?
Tentative. That's the magic word I was looking for.
Yeah. So do you want to go over that, Bobby, now, or do it later when it's most crystallized?
Later would be good. I think I'm going to try and figure it out over the next week or so. By this Friday, see what the story is. I need to chase down a few abstracts, whatever else.
Okay.
And if you guys are interested, I mean, this is not frozen in stone. So if you have something you want to share, by all means, if your company wants to do a lightning talk, now's a good time to get it into the bucket, basically.
Okay. And the lightning talks are what? 20 minutes?
No, lightning talks are super short, 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Depending on how much you want to do. But 10 minutes is the roughly I've got like 3 or 4 buckets in my head. Like one is a regular talk for about 20 minutes, a panel for about 60 minutes. There might be an exceptional topic which needs some time. I've just bucketed one in that. So a panel's an hour, a lightning talk is 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how many we have. And a regular talk is 20 minutes and a panel 60 minutes.
Okay.
So if you got an idea for a panel, a lightning talk or a regular talk, please send them my way. The abstracts are due soon.
Okay. Okay, I think this sounds good. So I'll get a Strawman abstract for the PoC portion and circulate around.
That would be good, JP. Thank you.
Sure, yeah. Anything else before we switch the topic, go to the workshop plans?
No, I think we've covered everything. Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you to Peter for all his for his big assist. I'm really sorry to see him go.
Say that again, Bobby, sorry.
Huge thank you to Peter. I'm really sorry to see that we're going to lose him, lose his active participation.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. So we're going to miss you with all the weekly meetings. You always jump in with good thoughts. And especially your help during that debug was super helpful. So you systematically organized all the diagrams and
Yeah, that was
drove through that debug.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure that the NXP board was up and usable. I like that LX2160. I worked on it a lot when it was first produced.
Yeah, thank you. So let's go to the workshop plan. And so let me bring up that spreadsheet. The hard part is figuring out where it's there. And yeah, based on our conversation last time, I kind of put together a plan. And let me share my screen. Do you see my screen now? Do you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can see your screen, JP. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So tentative dates are August 26, 27. Not tentative. This is the date we want to hit. To meet the dates, we want to send before. We need to give them 3 weeks, 4 weeks notice, right, to everyone. So we need to do it before July 26th or 25th to send out the invites from the speakers to the list. So the first is actually on 8/26, we discussed about 5 talks for data acceleration models. I think it's really good. It actually attracts more wider audience. So we'll start with the workshop opening note. And so I haven't, so Bobby, you mentioned somebody, right, for opening note. I think Sam was originally proposed. Do you have anybody in mind now?
Not yet, JP. It's still a TBD.
Okay. So the next is actually on the data acceleration models. And so there are 5 talks. So each talk will be 15 minutes and 5 minutes of Q&A, in total 20 minutes. And that will take us until about 10 o'clock, right? And so Young, you propose a talk from Samsung, correct, on that smart SSD.
Yeah, that's correct. So the Smart SSD team has agreed to speak. They just need to know how long they'll have.
Yeah, what do you think about 15 minutes of talk time and 5 minutes of Q&A?
I think that's fine. I mean, they can work with whatever they have, but they have an actual use case for computational storage that's in production. It doesn't use chiplets, but it is in the same vein as what we're talking about.
Okay, so do you call that a smart SSD or computational SSD?
The product is called the Smart SSD, but the general category is computational storage.
Okay, so so Young, do you think you can get a abstract and a title?
Sorry?
Can we get an abstract and title from the team?
Yeah, we can get that.
Smart SSD, but the abstract would be like 1 or 2 lines just to explain what they're going to talk about.
Yeah, I can get that from them. Smart SSD, by the way, is one word. It's actually trademarked.
Oh, is it? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's an actual product.
Smart SSD, okay. Is this how it's written, like the capitals? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So this is actually TBD, and okay, and so I'll send out the request by email, and if you can actually get an abstract and formal title, that'll be great.
Yep.
And the next talk is from Western Digital.
That's a great idea, JP.
Yeah, thank you. The next talk is from Western Digital, right? This is going to be on eBPF, Bobby.
Yeah, let me send out an email connecting the guy with. Yeah, give me a second. I'll send out an email. We can get an abstract and title.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and hopefully the timing also works for them, 15 minutes and 5-minute format.
Yep.
If they need more time, let us know, Bobby. We'll see how we can reorganize.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, and the talk 3 is from NGDs. I think somebody proposed NGD. So does anyone have a contact from NGD? And there is a computational SSD solutions.
NGD.
Yeah.
Remember who came up with
Scott
this?
Shelley?
Was it Kevin?
I don't know. I think maybe Kevin. I mean Quinn. I'm not sure. Somebody, the name NGD name came up in our conversation.
They do computational storage. Scott Shedley's friendly contact there.
Oh, okay. Is that Kevin?
Wait, but it's the we're thinking it's the other Kevin. But I'm glad you figured it out, Kevin.
Oh, okay. Hi,
I
Kevin.
was thinking, I don't think I've been on this call before that I can remember,
Yeah.
so it wouldn't be me.
It's just like we got a like for like replacement on the Kevins. Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining the call. So, Kevin, do you know anyone at NGD who can give a talk on what they're doing in the smart SSD space?
I don't know who would give a talk. I'll put a link in the chat for Scott Shedley. He's the guy I usually chat to there who's friendly, but then he doesn't always manage to dig up anybody else from his talks. So.
Okay. For now, I'll put your contact, but meanwhile, I don't know if Quinn joined us today, but we'll see. I mean, if not, yeah, let us know how it goes, Kevin. Otherwise, we'll reach out to them.
I'll just stick
What is
information in the chat.
NGD?
Sorry, Bobby, what are you saying?
What is NGD?
NGD is the name of the company, the startup that competes in that smart SSD space.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Kevin, hopefully I spelled your name correctly.
I'm just pasting everything in the chat that you need.
Okay, awesome. Let's see what you have. It doesn't allow me to copy things for some reasons. Okay. Reference, okay, and the talk 4, I'm going to reach out to Stephen Bates. So earlier he agreed. Hopefully this date works for him. So I put my name as the contact for it. And the 5th talk, I'm thinking about Microsoft, since they published a lot of work on the acceleration space. I think Quinn said he knows somebody who can actually do the talk. So I don't know if Quinn is here today. No, I don't see Quinn, but I'll put the contact as Quinn for now. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. I think you gave some email address, right? Scott. So I'm going to copy that as well. And then I'll reformat it. Okay, so so any other suggestions for the talk that these 5 talks that we want to do? I mean, if you have suggestions or for, let's say if any of the persons drops out, or if you have any strong suggestions for another person, let us know. Either we can insert one more slot, or we can rearrange, figure out a way. So if you have any thoughts, if you have a compelling speaker or compelling technology that you want to highlight in this workshop, that'd be great. Okay, and and the other, then we'll take a break for time, and then we'll start with that. At 10 o'clock, we'll start with the PoC vision from Young and what we are trying to do in the PoC, and then that will be for putting this for 10, 20 minutes. So Young, is that fine, or what do you think?
I can work with 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't think I need more time than that.
And what about title? Is that ODSA PoC vision? Is that a good title, or do you want to refine that?
Yeah, I think basically what we should talk about, or the the value proposition. Well, we should be specific and say there is a value, one of the value propositions, which is the TCO one. I don't want to eliminate the fact that there might be other ones, but we can just talk about one aspect of value.
Okay.
Maybe JP, narrow it down to ODSA vision for storage, right? Because we don't want, at least I don't want to, if somebody else can come and say, hey, I think I can use the same 3 pieces for other things. We want to give them the freedom to do so.
Right. Yeah. So I think the narrowing down helps. Yeah. So,
Well, and I do think a lot of the arguments that I'll make applies to computational stuff outside of storage as well.
It does, yeah. The at least the way we're thinking is it can be extended.
Right.
Also, you're saying we're better off. Maybe you're saying it's a storage use case rather than the PoC vision, but you're illustrating it with a storage use case more than
That's right.
narrowing it to storage. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then maybe JP, we're back to original one.
you're saying storage use case?
No, that's too mouthy a title. So just ODSA PoC vision back to it. But he's just going to use, Young is going to use storage as the example.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. All you have to do is take a look at the Yosemite diagrams and understand how Yosemite has been designed, which is very good for this sort of product or project. And if you compare that to standard 2-socket 2U servers, there's just no comparison.
Okay. Okay. I mean, this is kind of broader vision, but you in your presentation you're going to articulate and narrow down to us one use case, correct?
Correct. So it'll be an example. So I don't want to say that this is the only way to do things.
Okay.
But I think the goal of the sessions, 10 o'clock on, is to be as broad as possible. So even though we'll be talking about like the PoC hardware there, we should make sure they're aware this is just one implementation, and it's an alpha.
Yeah, I'll take some notes. Okay. So what you're saying is keep it broad enough so it applies to multiple use cases, not just one particular implementation.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I need to figure out a way to combine the cells. Okay, and so the title stays the same, right? It's fine, correct?
I think the title might be a little too grandiose there.
We can work on it, I guess.
Okay. Do you want to say as the title of something or the TCO reduction?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think that makes more sense.
Or, implementing accelerators with the ODSA PoC might be the turn it around.
And write all the things which are talking, and then what did you say about implementing PoC with ODSA? Sorry, Bobby, I lost your train of the words.
Sorry, accelerators with the forget the word implementing, just accelerators with the ODSA PoC.
So,
Hardware accelerators or accelerators with the ODSA PoC.
PoC, okay. And the young, you said something when you want to include the word TCO reduction, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
In the title. So we'll have to find a way to bridge this. So hardware accelerators with ODSA PoC for TCO reduction. Does that too look wordy, or what do you think? I'll write in a separate line to see.
I figure Young will make up his mind in about a week or so once he's, we know what we want to say roughly, and then Young can sort of make his slides and he'll come back with the title, right?
I think we could just say, I don't know. I just kind of feel like PoC vision is a little bit strong for what I'm doing, but just say TCO reduction using ODSA accelerators. The talk will not actually be about the PoC itself. It'll simply be about kind of how you do TCO calculations on that.
Right. And then you can and then you'll be saying that this will be implemented or at least prototype using the hardware, right? PoC hardware.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, would you mind saying that one more time, your title? That's what you were saying.
TCO reduction using ODSA accelerators.
Okay, we'll stick with this now, and then if you have any other ideas, we'll refine it. Okay, and the next topic is going to be, then we'll describe, once you talk about the PoC hardware, then we'll start off from there and then talk about the hardware. I think it'll be good, Vijay, also, if you can join and showcase the real thing you did, Vijay. So we can talk about it more. First, actually, I'll introduce the hardware, and then you can take it over and show the actual hardware that you built.
Sure, JB.
Okay, so we can probably do 10 minutes each. I'll generalize the concept, why PoC and the general architecture, and then you can show the actual implementation and perhaps working. And if you have a slick demo for a few minutes, that'll be great. But the demo needs to be, since we are short, it's only 20 minutes. If a demo if you pre-record the demo, I think it will come out really well.
I agree.
So I'll add here a note here. Okay, and okay, I think that's about that they will take us until 10:40, and the next part actually is, there are two things actually. One is actually on the end user panel introduction, which is what we will talk more in the following day, and the right. So I'm thinking that Quinn will do a introduction of inviting people to participate. What is this we want to do there from end user standpoint, and then the next day we can have more in-depth talks, right? And the other thing that I'm actually dabbling is with the Ravi's talk. Ravi, you plan to do a talk on Ceph for software architecture, right? Where do you think we can place it here? So
Is it gonna be like day 1 or day 2? Looks like it packed on day 1.
day 1, yeah, I don't have a clarity whether day 1 it can be or day 2. It can be also day 2 if you'd like, because day 2 we may have more slots available.
Yeah, it could be either. I just don't want to pack everything in one area. But
Okay, let's do it on day 2 then. That day 2 on the talk, because more end user, right? The first day is all about concepts and the hardware, and the next day is more software oriented, right? And the end user applications, right? The Quinn
yeah,
is, yeah. So the Quinn is not here. So what do you think, Bobby and Young? So I'm having here 10 minutes to just introduce the end user panel, but not the panel itself. So he'll be sort of inviting people for the next day and talk about the overall plan, the demo plan, hackathon, all those details.
Yeah, basically the idea is to ask people to please think overnight and come up with anything they'd like to share the next day.
Right. Okay, and then we'll wind up by 10:50, 11. I'm giving 10 minutes grace time if you have anything more, but we should be wind up by 11 o'clock, first day. So 8, 11, 3 hours. Okay, and then the day 2 is again is all end user talks. The end user talk is about what the advantages do they see, where do they see data acceleration is helpful, what use cases they're thinking about, and it's more at the application level, not at the technology level. First day is more at the technology level. How do they do acceleration? What protocol they use? And right is more about the architecture and the protocols. And the second day is more about the application level. So for this talk, it'll be from like a large cloud company, maybe from Facebook or Microsoft, or any of those companies who practice this kind of architectures. I'm thinking of 2 talks, talk 1 and talk 2. Again, we need to reach out to Quinn. Quinn proposed this idea, so we'll have to reach out to Quinn. But do you have any other contacts you have who will be willing to share anything on these lines? Would be great. We haven't identified anybody here on this talk.
Maybe we can ask Kevin.
Kevin Drucker or Kevin Cannon?
Yeah, Drucker. Sorry.
Okay. And again, I'll put contact as for Quinn. And, any other ideas, Bobby, whom we can reach out to, or on the large cloud company?
Do we still have Kevin Drucker?
No, okay. What Bobby is saying is to reach out to him.
Well, I think we won't have his regular participation, but we do have his support. So yeah, we can get something from him.
Okay.
At least a pointer to who to talk to, etc.
All right.
Young, if you have any ideas, also let us know. So So one way, there are two ways we can do this. One, you know the person and you can actually introduce us to them. The other way is you know the name, but you may not know them directly, but we can reach out as an ODSA and organization.
Yeah, I don't know anybody. The public cloud companies are notoriously secretive about who these people are. They don't like to let them speak.
Was it okay? Okay, Ravi, do you have any thoughts? Do you think
Like
you
who
can?
would speak? I could cover like, so Ceph is object store, right? So the different areas, but I could make it such that it falls in line with the TCO aspects of it. So it'll be a continuation of that. And it's about like how like a chiplet based accelerated card will take advantage of it or be useful in that environment. So I'm guessing it should come like maybe around like the university talks or somewhere around that area.
Okay.
If you're getting someone from, I don't know who's coming from there, but
Yeah, I think from universities, I'll put your name here somewhere here for now, and then we'll find this. And the university talk, actually, we're talking about two different places, right? One is was the University of Chicago, which I will reach out to Anand. Right. The other participant is from New Santa Cruz. So, Bobby, do you have contact Cruz, right? University of Santa Cruz.
Not the storage group, but somebody brought them up. It wasn't me. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was Quinn. But yeah, somebody did bring up Santa Cruz. It wasn't me.
Oh, okay, okay.
But we can drop them a cold email, I guess.
Okay.
well, Ceph did come out of there. So
Sorry?
Ceph did come out of there, I think. So if they're still working on the underlying layers, you could have an interest with them.
Right.
They originally came out from there.
Okay, so we'll reach out. I think there was another. Who was the person from the FPGA company? Sorry, I'm getting bad with the names now. Anyway, so I kind of roughly know who to reach out to. Bobby, I'll send you an email about
Okay.
Santa Cruz. So university talk should be fine. And the other thing is startup. So anybody has any contact or startup working on this area can talk about the application space.
I'd volunteer myself, but I don't know if I can get there.
Okay.
I stuck a contact for Santa Cruz in the chat.
Wow. Okay. So, do you know this person, Kevin?
Was there a not well, but I think he's probably a reasonable contact.
Right? You're saying, okay. Okay, and how about the startup? Do you have anybody in mind?
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, if you have anybody in mind, make a propose the name, so, and then we can reach out.
Is GSI technology in here anywhere?
Okay, so GSI technology. Okay, anyway, what is the name? GSI technology, is it?
I got a friend there. They're sort of pitching an in-memory compute thing.
if we're talking about data accelerators. So
Okay.
their stuff's fairly specific. It's it's quite complex. You know, it probably covers all the problems of trying to get a new compute architecture out the door.
Okay. Okay, I'll yeah. If you think if you think that they can give a talk that fits the space, right? There's more.
They got a bunch of stuff up on part of the Lindley conference. They put a bunch of stuff up on YouTube.
Okay, I'll look it up then. Then I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat for George.
On the startup side, I think there's another company called Fungible. Has anyone reached out there, or?
I think I've tried in the past, but they weren't terribly friendly.
Okay.
Let's see if I've got anything.
Fungible is another name, right? Okay, so really.
I can give you the CTO.
Sure, yeah. So what's the name of CTO?
I was going to paste it in the chat.
Okay. Okay. So he's with Stanford. He was with Stanford. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a conversation with him, so it's like
Sure, no problem.
probably ignore emails from me.
We'll see. Is the best way to reach out, or rather, yeah, this helps. This leads help, Kevin. Okay, I think so this gives an idea about N5 end user talks. And Ravi, so your talk we can go in one of these places, correct? As a part of this end user talk.
Yeah. So mine will be about like Ceph, about the architecture of Ceph and how it can be distributed and alternatives for it. So it'll be pretty much hopefully in line with some of the architectures that Young has shown, and what the practical aspects could be. I mean, the different methods. I mean, today you use like other methods like for acceleration, but this is actually meant for a demonstration, but it's more what I was thinking about, like Ceph as a distributed internal network of computational SSDs. And so I think that should be enough, right, for this point. Or Young, are you looking for something else on that, or would that be? And
so my opinion is we're very, very early on all of this. So I don't want to pigeonhole anyone in. I think we should keep the discussion pretty broad.
okay, so say we make the individual computational SSDs as just like a basic set of like computers and stuff internally networked. It just makes it easier to address things of comparison on how much you can offload from one segment to another.
But I think the challenge there is that one of the things we have to think about is the form factor. So if you're trying to deal with something that's going to be on U.2, you've got a 25 watt power limit. And whether you're dealing with just computation or just an SSD with computation, that's not a lot of power. So putting an entire, mini server on a U.2 device is not going to be easy. The question is, can you do useful things with that power envelope?
Possibly an OSD daemon or something running on it?
Yeah, something like that. If that's all you do, you've still added a lot of value. That's all I'm trying to get at. You know, we have to take a look at the totality of all of the computation that occurs on x86 today, and what is it that we can distribute to kind of scale up an individual server.
They don't have to run 100% of the time. There's a duty cycle
Right.
issue. So you've got 25 watts average. So you could use a kilowatt once in a while.
Well, you can't go crazy, but
I mean, things like cell phones, one of the ways that cell phones get to run so long is they don't do much most of the time. They wake up every so often and do a bunch of stuff and then go back to sleep. If you're addressing things like, if you're addressing things like spiking neural networks or, you know, database search type things, you know, basically most of the stuff just sits there doing nothing.
Well, the consideration here, though, is because I've talked with a lot of people who manage data centers. What they do is they take a look at the max power draw of every component, and they assume it will take that max power. So if it, you know, if you have a device that takes a kilowatt, but it only does it for, you know, a few minutes a day, they still assume a kilowatt when they're trying to figure out how to do the deployment.
Yeah. You can actually do things like manage the power so that you stay within the power budget and keep working. You know, that's where things like asynchronous logic help you, DBFS, and so a bunch of sort of low-level technical.
I get that. The thing is, if you try to put too much onto that device, you know, too often, you're just going to go above the power limit. And
but I mean, from my perspective, 25 watts is an awful lot of power.
Well,
my cell phone is a very complex piece of gear, and it uses a lot less than 25 watts.
Understood, but when you're talking about like computational storage, the SSD alone will take, you know, about 20 watts of that.
But the question is, how much power does the computation actually take on an x86 processor? Because most of its power is going and shoveling data around.
That's correct. Yeah. So again, very, very sensitive to the use case.
Right. Okay, I think we are running out of time today. So...
Yeah, that brings some clarity to it. So I think you go ahead. Yeah, so we obviously we can run a whole web server there, but I think like a couple of components and stuff would be easier to move from existing a distributed object store off in totality or whatever to a certain computational SSD, like certain components of it, just for demonstrating like what can be offloaded. Because it gets more difficult if you're tying in like an actual accelerator card. It's not difficult. It's just like you have to load in a bunch of drivers on or do something like eBPF or something like that, which could get more complicated. So I think the simplest path would be like offloading maybe a tiny OSD segment or daemon.
If you look at the NGD systems, guys, they're just doing containerized stuff on their computational storage. So if it runs in a container, you can run it on their platform.
Okay.
Their stuff's ARM based, so it's ARM 64, which is pretty much anything you want.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. So
yeah, I think we're out of time. Yeah.
Yeah, we're out of time, so so we'll continue next week. So Ravi, we'll keep the talk alive, maybe a little bit based on the inputs you have, and we'll refine it to find a suitable title.
Okay. Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ravi. So is there anything else before we sign off? Anything quick I want to bring it up?
That's it. I think I had talked to Vijay, and he asked for something about some reverse tunneling.
Okay.
So we may not need that right now for the workshop, but if he needs that information, I can send it. It should be pretty straightforward.
Sure,
Okay.
Ravi. And I think for the workshop, by that time, we should be able to host it at Supermicro, which will be available for everyone online.
Yeah, if you're thinking of something like having it online and hosting it in a bigger way, like people can actually access and log in, then I could help you out with that. if that's something you guys want to do.
Yeah, that's where we're going towards, Ravi. But I think the Supermicro is going to assist us with their network, so they'll be having control over how we access it. But then we'll be just deploying our hardware there. That was the initial talk. But for
that's all right.
Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it'll probably be within Supermicro's domain. So if you want to make it public or something, you have to check with them.
Yeah, that's right. That's the process. But for our private network, maybe you can give us the tunnel information. Maybe I can set up a reverse tunnel, and then maybe we all can actually share and use it if you need some developmental or demo purposes, kind of.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, JP. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.